Well, greetings and happy Easter to all those that celebrate Easter. Let me catch you up on recent developments with this Bissell Powerforce Helix. So yesterday I was able to go and acquire some new belts. So this has a new belt in it and no more brush roll slippage. And speaking of brush rolls, I was able to compare it to the Bissell Powerforce bag I have, the one with the blue bristles. And comparing the two, very new to very abused, I noticed that this particular Bissell, I'm going to say the bristles themselves are a little bit shorter due to some wear and tear and abuse, obviously, and they're also a little bit softer. So this machine is not going to be running at completely tip-top condition as far as the brush roll goes. And cosmetically, you can see that now a lot of the white paint drywall transfer marks have been scraped off. It needs a little more cleaning. It's not in bad shape. And the wheels were very squeaky. So those got completely disassembled and fully greased up with my thick wheel bearing grease. So they don't squeak because I'm going to do a whole house cleaning with Wade results. So if we take a look at this inner filter here, let me show you what the outer foam looks like, at least initially. See that right there? See how clean that is? See, that's not bad. So we'll be able to do a before and after viewing, and we'll see just how clogged this thing happens to get. So now let me weigh the bin. And let's see what the initial weight is. Need to get this centered as much as possible. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Oh, good, you can. Okay, so we are at 254.43 grams. I'll take that. So how about we do a whole house cleaning and we will weigh the difference. However, I'm actually more interested in the quality of the dirt pickup that we get. So is it going to be a lot of carpet fiber? Is it going to be a bunch of fine dust in there? What's going to be the ratio between the fibrous blob I'm able to put in my hand versus everything else? And I guess as far as the Wade results go, I should say that because I have been shampooing certain sections of my carpet recently, as you can see in previous videos, that I'm not so sure that I'm going to hang my hat on this round one of whole house cleaning results. I'm probably going to repeat this 3 times and say take an average, for example, or I might even throw out this particular result set that I get. But let's just see what happens. So let's get started with the whole house cleaning, and I have the height adjustment set at the middle position, which would be for medium pile carpet, I suppose. show you what I'm up against here. So I can go somewhat flat there with the second push of the pedal, and I can get maybe about a foot underneath, and then yeah, so I'm hitting right here. So that's all I can really do. So it'll go underneath some stuff, but it's not going to go underneath everything. carpet lines, if you wanted to see those. It's a bunch of little strips, a couple inches wide each. I'm really kind of liking this machine. It is fairly easy to push, and no wonder because it has such a low CFM density. Let's take an initial look and see what's in the bin. So we have a lot of fibrous material. A lot of fibrous material. I think that's a lot of carpet. See, over there, I'm seeing, there's some like medium grade dust in there, to be sure. I'm not seeing a lot of fine dust. And up here for this Cyclone, so far, definitely has a lot of, well, I see the dog hair in there. That's the short, light brown stuff. And, well, various other things. So it's working. It's definitely working. And there's the brush roll. All right, so let's keep going. Let's go down to the first floor. And there she is, the queen of the living room. we're now done with this whole house carpet cleaning. This Bissell Powerforce Helix was very easy to push. And did anybody actually hear the little squeaks from the front wheels? So I did the rear wheels with the grease, but I didn't do anything with the front wheels. So if you manage to hear little Tweety Bird squeaks, that would be the front wheels. So now we need to go and take a look and measure how much dirt we managed to recover. So it looks like a lot of fibrous material, but we'll have to go and weigh it, find out what we have. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and measure the dirt recovery. The only thing is, you certainly have a bunch of stuff that we can measure by looking at this particular middle bin. That's the obvious measurement. But see this right here? You can easily get to that by just kind of wiping your finger underneath there. I wonder if I should really count that. So I guess we'll look at everything. And there certainly is a big pile of junk right down there where the filters are. So I don't know, maybe I have to do this like with 3 dumps, so to speak, the top, the middle, and the bottom. Well, at least it certainly picked up a bunch of stuff. I think that's an awful lot of fibrous material, though. I mean, that's a boatload of fibrous material. This I can easily take out by just twisting it. A lot of dog hair. And so we have a dog, obviously. A lot of dog hair. So I think I'm probably just going to count this because you probably really need to remove it anyway. So I'll just do the best job I can. So it certainly has some fine dust built up here. Let me get that a little closer. So here's what the fine dust looks like. Look at that. Plenty of dust in the filters, but a lot of cyclonic assemblies have that same problem. All right, let's keep going. Take this and stick it back up there. Now, this ought to be interesting. Whoa, look at this. Look at that. That is completely caked. That is really caked. So it's a little bit in here. I'll put that down in there. The main bin, but oh, that's really something. So you know what I'll do? I will go, and I suppose to be fair, I'm just going to pick off some of the big stuff. That's all. I'm just going to do that. But you can see how awful this cyclone is. I mean, that's really terrible. It does not do a good job of separating things at all. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that something? So it's yeah, that's kind of caked. And if this was the only machine that you had, I don't know really how you would clean this quickly. I mean, you can go and rinse it off and let it dry, but I mean that's what you'd have to do. So it's almost like you need another vacuum so you can vacuum that off. All right, so be that as it may, that's what we'll count. And for the general quality of the dirt, I'm going to do a couple of different measurements here. Why not? Because we can. So here's the blob that's in there. But we will separate it in a minute after I'm done with this. right? We started out with 254.43, and we have 260 something or other. Let me get you a lot closer. You're too far away. That's a little better. So if I take 260.888, all right, I'll say 260.88, and I'll subtract 254.43, we get 6.45 grams. And I don't think that's really that bad. I think it's probably right where it should be. It's not terrible. It's certainly not anything great. And I think it's actually a little bit less than some of the other Bissells. So you can go to my really long, dull, and boring 30-minute spreadsheet video in which you see my face and I go over all my machines except this one because it's brand new. Now let's split up the debris. Let's take a good look and see if I can't separate this out. So we got a lot of fibrous material. I mean, that is a ton of fibrous material, to be sure. So let me pick out the fibrous material there. And a lot of that's carpet. A lot of that is dog hair. So the gray stuff you see, especially if it's kind of balled up like this, that's going to be carpet. And the clumps of short brown hair, that's my dog Rosie. And try to separate this out as best I can. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Now to have this fit in the tray, I'm going to squeeze this together. Try to separate out some of the fine dust best I can. All right. So here we go. Oh, touching. All right. So this is the fibrous material right here. So about 5 grams, almost 5 grams of fibrous material. But if you look closely, what's in this bin is, well, I mean, some of it's a little crunchy, but there's not a whole lot of ultrafine dust. But let's weigh that. Let's see if we can't collect that a bit and weigh it. So certainly an imperfect measurement, but I think I'm one of the only people to actually do this on YouTube, where we separate fine dust or finer dust from fibrous material. Okay, so it's a little dirty there. Pretty much it's about 1 gram of non-fibrous material to about 5 grams of a lot of fiber. So I guess a cautionary tale. This does a pretty good job picking up dog hair. I mean, that's kind of obvious. But as far as picking up fine dust, there's very little of it. So, I mean, this machine is pretty cheap. I guess it does somewhat of an okay job. It certainly picks up a lot of surface stuff. Did a great job with dog hair. I mean, well, it's a lot of dog hair. But I think it, despite a worn brush roll, I think it's picking up too much carpet. So, what say you? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let's clean up this mess here. Well, this is definitely one of the messiest vacuums that I've ever worked with, for sure. You kind of need another vacuum in order to clean this vacuum when you're done. And if you don't do that, it's going to clog pretty quick. So I suppose that's really my big caveat with this thing. It's messy.